Light fills the world, but at its smallest scale, it almost disappears. The smallest unit we can meaningfully call light is a photon. It cannot be divided, it cannot be made smaller. But here is the stranger question. Does your brain even let you see one? A single photon of green light carries about 3.6 times 10 to the minus 19 joules of energy. But that number means nothing to your intuition. So try this instead. Drop a single paperclip from just 1 millimeter. That tiny impact releases enough energy to launch trillions upon trillions of photons straight into your eye all at once. But even that comparison fails to truly convey how small a single photon really is, because the faintest star you can see on the clearest, darkest night sends roughly 1000 photons per second into your eye. That star is already the absolute edge of human vision, a barely visible needle point in the black. A single photon is 1,000 times less than that, less than the faintest thing you have ever seen. One photon is not a flash, not a flicker. It's a packet of energy so small that for all practical purposes, it might as well be nothing at all. And yet, in 2016, researchers proved that the human eye can detect a single photon. But detection is not the same as seeing. For a photon to become a conscious experience, it has to survive a brutal gauntlet of biological filters. Most photons never even reach the retina. They are reflected by the cornea, scattered by the fluid in the eye, or absorbed by the wrong tissue entirely. If one makes it through, it must strike a rod cell, one of the most sensitive biological detectors we know of. But here is something worth pausing on before we reach the final barrier. The brain doesn't passively receive what your eyes send. It actively decides what is real. Every signal that arrives is evaluated. Is this a genuine event in the world, or is it just internal noise? And most single photon signals don't pass that test, which brings us to the reason why. Thermal noise. Our eyes are so sensitive that they actually hiss with thermal static. Rod cells occasionally fire not from light but simply from the heat of your own blood. Your brain therefore has to be a total skeptic. It must decide for every signal, was that a real photon or just the warmth of our own body? In experiments, a single photon is consciously perceived less than 10% of the time. Most of the time, your brain rejects it. A single photon is treated like a ghost. So, does your brain let you see a photon? Almost never. Not because the photon isn't real, not because your eye can detect it, but because your brain decides quietly, constantly, without asking you that it probably isn't there. And yet, something remarkable is happening underneath that dismissal. Your brain is performing a constant invisible act of discrimination. Every moment it is choosing between the noise of your own existence and a single packet of energy that has traveled across the vacuum of space to find you. You don't see photons, not one, not 1,000. You see the decisions your brain makes about them. And in those rare moments, that 10%, when a single photon does break through, you aren't just glimpsing light at its most fundamental, you are witnessing the exact moment the physical world becomes a human reality. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.